Oh, double music. Sorry. That's a horrible mishmash of music. Oh. Horrible mishmash. I apologize. Ah! That's what I get for needing to chat to people. Chatting, co-streaming things for worlds, which would be very exciting. May have lost before, you never know what they're cooking. Yeah, it's true. Vitality.Bee banning away the Rakan, the Gallia, the Hui. Rumble Jarvan off on the other side. I feel like most of the time he picks, he smashes. Who are we talking about here? K'Sante? Yeah, K'Sante. Okay. Yeah, K'Sante's a weird one. His tankiness is all in his W. And I feel like Lost Ratones don't have great options into him, but like he's not as great as he once was. And often he has to really, really, really outplay to get value a lot of the time. If they win, they get to join EU Tier 1. Yeah, but they've already earned it, right? They did that in spring. So, at least going by the system as it is, they will make it. Hooray for Chachi Pop. First pick of the Rise. Lots of Tones have not managed Rise very well. At all. Yeah. Hui and Galio banned, right? Yeah, exactly. Hui, Galio banned. Do you want to see Nemesis on Cassiopeia? What does he have into Rise? Syndra's already down. Orianna? Fine. Orianna's probably your best remaining option. There's the Vi. Be decent with the Orianna. It's a good ball carrier. Can't Wukong with it. Good Jarvan. It's been banned. They banned it themselves. They want to give the first pick up because Lurox is a big Jarvan enjoyer, which is why. What are we going on this side then? Decap's got the most amazing hair. The water emoji makes me feel an ick. There is, I think, probably because it's been used much like the aubergine / eggplant emoji. Been misused a bit, shall we say? Shinzao, fine. Rakan is down from now. It's not down. Okay. You either force the Rakan pick here, or you have to ban. Actually, that's a lie. I feel like Lost Ratones are going to get the Rakan here, probably as a result. But it means they can't pair it with the Xayah, which I think might have been the option for Lost Ratones so they can make it work. Rakan is banned. I'm done. Yes. Thank you, chat. There it is. First ban. Blue side. Apologies. Yeah, Rakan is banned. As I said, yeah, I'm apologies. Yes, both chats now telling me it's banned. Jinx, not bad here with the Vi Orianna. You can look to get the reset by just having Vi go in with the Orianna ball, blast someone. If that gets the reset, life is good. Rakan Rocket can follow up quite well with the Vi as well. Sisters. See whether they can make it work. Can they make Vander proud? Do we get Warwick in here as well? Why does France get so many teams in the event? Historical levels of very, very impressive success. It's the reason why LCK and LPL get a lot of seeds at internationals as well. Reward for long-lasting dominance. I would dislike a Kled. I don't think it's awful here, actually. Very short-range comp for Vitality.Bee, and you can join the Vi. You are diving through Xayah. You are diving through Rise, but I think the charge itself isn't bad, and you can theoretically force some ults when you don't want to, and it's a decent side laner into Rise. And you have the issue, the problem is Rise tries to burst you, and you just dismount and you go again. Don't think it's awful. Dante ban last, yeah. They don't want to get that option up to Janax, who is a very good tank player on his day. At ERL level as well, he does a decent carry. Do you want to give Baus counterpick or Reckless counterpick is your decision now. Could Lulu here? Wouldn't be awful. Jinx Lulu. Give yourself some range options. Might force a Blitzcrank or something from Decap. Gragas is a blind for Baus. Gragas is the blind for Baus. Okay. Lots of disruption. Can force Xayah ult quite freely. Decent into the Rise and the Shinzao, because you can knock them away when they're looking for their combos. You can interrupt the Realm Walk quite well as well. Yorick would be pretty okay, as Gragas doesn't really deal with the Mistwalkers particularly. The Blitzcrank I was wondering about. That makes a Lulu really risky now. They were looking for a Lulu, I think, and the Blitzcrank base says, if you lock the Lulu, I will just hook you every time and you die. Renata might not be awful. Rel is pretty good here as well. You hook a Rel, you hook a Gragas, it's a bad time. Rel's also a decent ball carrier. The one thing I'll say is Jinx, as an AD carry, has quite low mobility. So if she's locked in a W animation or whatever, it's very punishable with a rocket grab. Right, yeah. Rel is not great. I think it, okay, if you do this, if I do this, if I go, can't see this draft anymore. No, can't see it. LR's draft is decent. In fact, it's pretty good. It's a Vi Orianna comp with a reset for Jinx, lots of divers and disruption in the Gragas and the Rel, who are additional ball carriers. You get that first kill, Jinx gets excited, pop off in a team fight. Really good, decent skirmishing as well, obviously, and a lot of disruption in CC from multiple different angles. You've got good flankers, solid carries. It's not bad. The moment you look at the other side, then you realize it's not going to be the most fun to dive into a Xayah and a Shinzao and a Rel and a Xayah and a Rise. The only thing I'll say is you do outrange, I think, as Lost Ratones. The Yorick and Rise will have better side laning options and will likely beat both the Orianna and the Gragas in terms of like outright 1v1s to sort of like shove in on the side lanes. Ori's not a bad side laner these days, but she's not like she's not Yorick for that matter. And there is always the world where the Blitzcrank hook onto key targets turns things around. But I do think Vitality.Bee's comp is a little bit more... you need to manage the dive really well, which is not always a guarantee. And 2, you are going to need to make sure your Blitzcrank gets value. If you can get Rune Prison to Blitzcrank hook on a Jinx, on an Orianna, life is okay. Not that guaranteed, though. But you do need to try and make that happen. Right. I've got tea in the kitchen that's brewing, and I need to drink it.
Minions have spawned.
I returneth. Have I missed anything? No, I haven't. Thank God for that. I need to see some more lights when it's a bit dark in here. Oh. Let there be lights. Good grief. What kind of tea? I've just got English breakfast. A bit boring today. Oh, good grief. Ban it. Ban. I don't see the value of Yorick. It's okay. It's decent to Gragas is the answer. Gragas doesn't have the most fun against the Mistwalkers, basically. The little ghouls. But you can get over the cage, which is kind of fine. And Yorick gets a decent shove into the Gragas early. And also, Yorick sustains through a lot of the Gragas poke, basically. Yeah. What have I missed? Yorick is... What's the competition? Yorick is bad this game. So why are you not a fan of the Yorick? Maybe I'm deluded, but whenever I play Jinx, that happens, I pop the Yorick and we win the fight. Yeah, that could absolutely be a thing. But the idea is that the Yorick becomes a split push win condition that doesn't give that much option for that. And also in the fights, if you can get the Jinx in the Dark Procession, it's a bad time for her. But yes, Yorick isn't really here for the team fight. It's partly why I prefer Lost Returns draft. I think it's a more cohesive draft. Vitality.Bees, for me, is trying to do a lot of different things. They try to get a lot of individual counters. They skirmish well. They can do a lot of hooks like that. Nice Shattering Strike. Crash down should be alright. Yeah, I think Yorick's not bad into Gragas is the honest answer. It's supposed to be a punish on the blind Gragas. Especially the AP variety that squished you and a bit more vulnerable to like last rites and stuff. Game 1 was both mid and bot gap. Yeah. Less in the early game, but yeah, mid gap. The Nemesis, once you got rolling, was really problematic. Early flash on Crowny there as well? Yes, very much so. Mouse missing. Oh, he missed another CS. Oh my days, this is awful. That's like 4 CS's missed. 66% win rate, not bad. Another hook. Reckless crashes down. Man, yeah, look, this was my worry. Like, on paper, Crowny and Reckless have got a fine bot lane draft. But it is reliant on both of them not getting hit by skill shots, which hasn't always been their early strength, it has to be said. That's a couple of really key hooks that have caused some issues here now. That's every summoner down for Lost Returns bot lane. Just off straight laning, there's no jungle interference there. Whose team's a better draft? I prefer Lost Returns. But I see what Vitality.Bee can do to get some danger in here. Oh, Sir Jonjo with the Hydrate. Also, Jonjo, hello. Good to see you, my friend. One of the people who gave me some of my earliest casting opportunities, Sir Jonjo. There's my hydration. Good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. How's life, Jonjo? Doing well? You still Valence leaguing? And a posture check. Still playing. My go. My go. Value's here, but so is Lurox. Lurox is leaving. Now, this could get a bit interesting. Lurox has left. If Decap lands the wrong hook here, it's a bad time. The 6-man cast. Oh my god. There's a throwback. What am I eating? I made some, apologies for eating on stream, actually. Been out all day, so I've not had a chance to eat. I made some, homemade char siu pork last night. So it's the remains of that. With some homemade dumplings. Which someone else made. Because I was at a mid-autumn fest. I was at a mid-autumn celebration with some friends last night. Diablo. But, again... Never apologize for having a different opinion. Absolutely fine. Like, I might come and disagree with you. We'll have those conversations. But never feel like... I don't want you to come away feeling stupid having say, hey, I'm not sure about this. That's fine. We can talk about it. Because the answer, I'm wrong too. And I hope chat in general isn't going to be particularly awful about it. They're generally not. This is the combo we're potentially threatening about with the Rise and the Blitzcrank. Right. Please do voice your opinions. That's partly why we're here. We can have those discussions. And if you can explain why you think what you think, that's fine. Discussion. Yeah. So please don't stress. And again, the Yorick should be better in the lane, I think. And thus far it has been. Will it matter for the skirmishing though? Because the Gragas will be more valuable in the skirmishes. But yeah, if you ever misuse your body slam, that kind of happens and you have a bit of a bad time. Decent trade back. Decent trade back, actually. Again, I'm not here to elo check you. Fine. What? I hate to say this, but I'd like to see Diablo on T1 next year, put Goma in China, and let Fnatic buy out Smash. There's an interesting. So obviously, the thing is, Guma was fighting with Smash for his position at the beginning of the year, and there was a lot of, I personally thought that was kind of an okay, it was fine. But at some point you had to make a decision. My worry was, and the decision was forced more by external pressure, CEO, from fans, from everything going on, than it was from actual metrics. And the problem is it's probably broken trust a bit with both Guma and Smash. So there is a world where T1 ends up with a different AD carry next year, and I wouldn't be all that surprised. Why did that get blocked? That's fine. Jinx stole a rocket with a grub with a rocket. So she did. Good call. I didn't think that actually did. I thought it was just a chunk. I was too busy chatting crap. Sorry about that. That's really good value. That's what I get for looking at chat and not the game. Oops. Delar didn't give some silly kills early. Things are progressing pretty well. Yeah, it's been a quiet game, and that tends to favor Lost Ratones in general. Just as a team. Not necessarily with this draft per se. I think both people are looking to get to a couple items realistically. Alright, Dragon Star. This might be our first big scuffle of the game. Lost Ratones are on vision while they do this. They don't have an idea that the water's in the back of the pit. At least in terms of having seen it gone down. That will just go down. Fight afterwards a possibility. Reckless flashes on in. Nice chunk on a decap, who will now likely die to the cease and desist. There it is. Runs out of his supercharger. Or his afterburn. I forget what the name of the ability to speed up on Blitzcrank is. Either way, over the wall goes Valiant. It's a 1-for-1 right now as Nemesis died. Big root onto Crowny, who's going to die. Blitz! Ooh! That's not bad from Bounce, but can't finish up what he's looking for. He's going to end up dying here. Vault Breaker onto someone. Gets it onto Lurux. Nice angle. Bounce gets away for a second or two. Ooh, nearly got Yopper, who ran out of damage. They missed the overload. There's the Spell Flux. Another Vault Breaker available. Is there a flash? Can't find Vitality.Bee's bot lane. So that ends up being... what? 1 for 2? No, they lost Crowny as well. Okay, 2 for 2. No, wait, 3 for 2. There's no one else out there. What am I doing? 3 for 2. Oh dear, mate. Lost Ratones. I can't do maths, guys. Spell Flux, Rune Prison, over the wall. Velia survives for now. There's still a flash from VT, but he won't get on top. Okay. Yeah, there was 3 for 2. Let's have a look at this again. It was very, very messy. Because initially, they went with the pick onto the decap, and it just took a little bit too much work. That's not bad, but he doesn't end up on the chomper because he flashes. And he just gets far enough away. Doing this too, you never rest. That's it. Alex streamed ASI earlier. I'm streaming this one. But yeah, between the two of us, we've done a lot of coverage. I am Initialized. Earlier was Nymera. Together, we are the Hapgood brothers. It was nice from Valor at the end of this. I think Baustor's very unlucky not to quite get Yopper. I wonder whether it might have been worth him just full committing to see whether he can get Yopper, but who knows. Still, unfortunate early fight. The Hap Great brothers, that's the one. Diablo isn't available anyway, plus Guma's fine. T1's problem was massive, was Faker massively underperforming and terrible meta reads. He had a weird year. There were some good moments and then some not so great ones. Also, I think there was a lot of issues integrating Doran into the play patterns. I also just think in general T1's drafts were pretty awkward. And come playoffs, Guma and Kerry had a bad playoffs. At the very least inconsistent one. That wasn't, oh my god, best bot lane in the world, which we've seen before. Oh, 1 second. I've got a call from a friend. Wasn't expecting that one. Hello. very good friend of mine who I play music with occasionally, I went to uni with, was wondering whether she'd see me in the airport. And I was like, no, I'm actually on stream. And she was like, oh, could you say hello to people for me? I was like, I can do that. So she'll end up in chat soon enough. And you can say hello to the great Bethany Graves. T1's strength of the team is basically depending on owner carrier. Yeah, I could agree with that. I agree with that. I think owner has been unbelievably good for T1. I think carrier, because he's not been quite as great as otherwise, has been an issue for them. There you go. Reckless and Smash or Mickey X and Smash? I would think I would go Mickey X and Smash if I could help it, though I can see why you might want to go with Reckless. Map presence from Vitality.Bee seems better at the moment. To bring it back to the game, because we've been chatting about things not to the game. It has been pretty good from Vitality.Bee. They're getting value out of the Blitzcrank roams and the Rise being valuable. Also, that early skirmish going wrong was a bit problematic. It's not the end of the world as yet, but again, the early kills, early objectives, a bit rough. So it's only 1,600 gold. Very playable, very playable. I wouldn't get too stressed as yet. T1 has a mid lane draft problem. To an extent, but I've also had major issues with what's going on bot lane. I've just had an issue with the drafts in general. I've not necessarily had issues with the champions in mid that much per se. I have had issues with what they've been playing bot lane. I think Goomer's champion pool hasn't been fantastic for the current meta, especially with Varus falling out in particular. But he doesn't play that much Jinx anymore. His Zeri's not fantastic. I mean, Zeri's always been poor. He's not a great Kai'Sa. That's three of the major picks right now, and that's really limiting them in drafts. I think Doran's been a little bit volatile. Bao's not building Roa. Yeah, no, he's getting a bit more damage. Ooh, that's not bad. VTO might end up dying for that. That's a really good combo onto the Rise. Crowny gets to flash away with the excitement. That was a good dark procession, but the turnaround's rough. Nemesis, how did you end up there? Ah, dear. Well, Yop is about to blow up Baos as well. That was almost great. And then, unfortunately, I think Nemesis got hit by a hook. There's no other way you could have got there, right? It all goes a bit wrong. This game kind of I don't know what you mean. It does feel a little bit cooked after. Those have been two quite poor team fights from what should have been good team fight angles. And I think the fact that both Nemesis and Crowny are basically both getting blasted in team fights when you would expect at least one of them to be getting out alive is very problematic. So initially he starts fine. So how does Nemesis end up getting caught? He just walks into everyone. And he tries to get his way through and just gets bounced around. Okay. So Nemesis has a really bad angle into the fight. I get it would have been hard to walk down the river away from things, but that's tough. And Crowny still got caught at the back end of it despite blowing flash and despite having excitement rolling. Maybe look at decap. But that's not a great showing from Nemesis there so far. But then again, you know, he's still up in farm. They'll be okay at the minute. But I think one more bad fight and things get tricky. But I'm fearing the 1-1. I kind of agree. Best of 3 or best of 5? It's best of 5. Best of 5. Playoffs are all best of 5. Most of the gold difference is top lane, which might make a bit different edits. Oh, Beth, Sam's friend. No way you've gotten... No way you've got to made an actual account. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Bethany has absolutely got him There they are. Hang on, let's move over. Look at this. There. This is great. All right, we move back. But there's violence occurring. Let's go talk about this instead. Velia, that's not a bad escape, actually. Hang on. Can he run through VTO? He said he can. He just literally dropped it there. Oh, no way they got the turret off this as well. That is absolutely foul. Didn't want to dox myself. Very fair. Very fair. Thank you for the fresh account and saying hello. Lovely to see you, though, Bethany. Crowny gets blasted under the turret. So they got this really cool play topside and then die horribly mid lane. How did Crowny end up there alone? Oh, well, whatever. Dead. Picked up Herald through the gate. That's very good. That's very good. That was a solid escape. No way you got the Herald through the gate. That's ridiculous. Change my existing name. I'll do it. Not a fresh account. Oh, Slackstill, thank you very much for the subs. Sorting us out. So, yeah. Managed to get that one and then flashes over the wall. And then he actually did Hexgate for it. That's ridiculous. And then they realm up to try and catch him, and he gets in there heralding. Oh my god. That is actually foul. That is, I mean, he still does nearly die. But I mean, fine, he gets caught by the Dark Procession, right? But that is about as smooth an escape as he would get to. That's flipping ridiculous. What that is. Flipping ridiculous. Okay. Bounce a little bit beyond the turret here. Velia's here as well. I think they could look at this. Good chunk. Dark Procession buys some time, but they're still going to cease and desist. That's really good. And the shutdown. Not bad for Velia, who's 3-1. Hexgate drive-by, baby. I think it's a rare enough occurrence that I'm kind of okay with that being a possibility without CC on it. Bowser's TP behind, going to look at Yopper. They don't have the explosive cask. That's kind of alright. Forced a bit of a weird journey out, but Yopper's fine. Yopper's having a much better game on the Zaya than the Smolder, it has to be said. Lurox has to flash out of the back of the pit, though, nonetheless. TP for Flash is basically the end of the trade there. Lurox blew his Flash, Bounce blew his TP. Mostly. What is this little zoom in? Oh, this is for the Atakan spawning, isn't it? Very nice. Oh, look at that. Zerva's having fun with that one. Alright. Bit of a cinema display. Okay, Atakan's here. Are they just going to rush it? I think they are. Hang on, Flash! Oh my god. Okay, well, Nemesis down his Flash now. Decap also down his, but that's okay. LR early team fight incoming? Maybe. I think Nemesis not having Flash makes this a bit scarier. Baus is not having a great amount of time. Yopper has to go into the sky, so they've gotten the Featherstorm behind his Lurox. Could look for some more. Crescent Guard value is good, but Crowny now kind of untouched. Still gonna have Reckless go down. Doesn't really get that much value. In goes Velia, who I think is likely gonna die. Reckless also already fallen. And that is probably Dragon and maybe actually also Atakan. They're gonna try and do both. That's really big for Vitality.Bee. And that, as they say, is the game. You got the original old school League of Legends box. Nice Frostwind. But yeah, that's Atakan as well. That is probably a game-breaking advantage, I would assume. Not easy to come back from this point. How many paddles did they get? 23 paddles now. Yeah, that's pretty good going. This feels pretty over now. Big lead for the AD carry. Big lead for top. And they got feature strength and Atakan and the dragon advantage. This is rough. Rough, this is rough. I got a bit weirded out about whether the Blitzcrank value would be there, and I got a bit worried about how easy the team fights would be, but actually Vitality.Bee proved me quite wrong, and they've team fought very well with the comp in a way that I thought was going to be a lot harder. But they've managed to get on top of Nemesis and Crowny pretty consistently, honestly, which has been very problematic for Lost Ratones. And hell, Teamfight Yorick doing the thing. Crowny and Nemesis positioning has been so off. I've not been that happy with it, I have to be said. So I think this has been more about play than draft, honestly. At least another turret down, so they're trading okay on that front. You take what you can. Janax in the bush there with the Maid and the Mists. Wait, doesn't Jinx spell IE second here? Yes, but it is a very short-range composition from Vitality.Bee, and theoretically, the attack speed and rocket spam... Rockets also trigger on Hurricane. So you can basically get a lot of AoE down. Little lower damage for theoretically a lot of value into a lot of melees. You want IE third now then, probably. Less single target and raw DPS, but the AoE damage is what should make up for it, is the thinking, at least. I need to say it pay off, but hey, here we go. Also, what it means is it's very easy to get a reset because one rocket with Hurricane is, like, guaranteed to at least get some damage on someone who's going down. Let's continue how they played during Swiss. Win first game, then crash out. A little bit of that. Yeah, it's not been particularly clean, has it? Okay, looking at potential value. It gets jumped on. Gets away briefly, but hit by the wind becomes lightning into the smite. Flash away now. Lurik's still got his own flash, but that means Nemesis is left alone as they realm up on top of him. Yeah, the picks will continue until morale improves. And that ain't looking pretty. Rocket delays the resets. How long until Nemesis? 30 seconds. What does it get you? A shove through mid. That's about it. Can't stick for the wave because Yop will just run at you. Nemesis is dead. Yep. I think she's going Blade of the Ruin King. It might be LDR as well here. Worth noting. Or, actually, this game probably with the Xayah and the Xin Zhao and the Yorick and the Ryze, who will have a bit of healing in his kits because of what he does item-wise. That might actually be Mortal Reminder. I'm not even listening to Gabriel stream, but I'm sure you can hear them crashing out. Oh, impossible. Not gonna lie. Yeah, but Mortal Reminder would be my suspicion. Yeah. What's one more grave? Seems like LR doesn't quite understand playing against the Ryze Blitz. Yeah, they've been caught off by that kind of pick combo a lot more than I was anticipating. But this is also how LR often are. They do give up a lot of kills as a team. They just do. And Blitzcrank and Ryze are two of the better people at like capitalizing on that. Getting value out of that. I'm gonna spot VTO. And VTO is also now level 16, by the way. He's 2 levels over Nemesis. I am and they are sad. Yeah, I had a feeling there would be. Chosen team fights. Yeah, exactly. That's not really where Ryze and, well, Blitzcrank in particular should be at his finest. And yet here we are. Gonna get Soul Point. I think it's a Dragon Flip or Burst. Not a bad idea with the rocket, but no steal this time around. Hook. Oh, Nemesis. Yep. Reminder, Blitzcrank breaks shields with his ult. And thus the Seraphs did jack all there. Have they really had a 5-5? They've had 2. They lost both. Is the answer? But that's a 4th death for Nemesis, who's not having fun this game. Where is Valia trying to find his way in? Decaps around. Yeah, he knows he's there. He's about to get hooked, and he knows it. Reckless now body blocking. Can he flash in? He probably can. Cease and desist. It's going to be a flip. He stole it. It went down to 1 HP. Oh, very nice. Baus now potentially in danger. Crowny flashed away. Will likely die. Okay, they're going to try and punish as many people as they can. Does Baus get out? No, he doesn't. He's going to get run out. Baus TP'd in. Oh, no. All the Barons are going. Yeah, and Yorick gets to do Yorick things. Cask away. VTO's behind. Maiden the Mist is still hitting. Yeah, he's dead. Better to kill Yorick. Yeah! Man, this went down to literally 1 HP, by the way. Watch. 1 HP steal. The problem is you still lost 3 members as a result of this. In fact, did you get anyone out with it? Reckless got out. They realm warped onto Crowny, who got slowed by the Wind Becomes Lightning, so was dead. He needed to, like, not get hit by that. And maybe he gets away. And even then, it was tricky. EP behind VTO, who does have Flash. Doesn't have Realm Warp, he's likely dead. Shockwave flashed. Yopper now coming. Ghosted. Okay, Flash on VTO. Can't get any more. Yeah, they've been trying to get exit plays, and they've not really succeeded with it. No Vault Breaker. We'll just now don't go too far forwards. Decap can pick someone up. Gold Elo match a little harsh, say Aloy. Not too much there. Keep going to be careful. I think it's quite hard when they've lost vision control into this comp, because Blitzcrank preys on good vision. VTO is so far ahead that with a Realm Warp basically bringing Lurox, is also Giga fed forwards. You've got a very, very nasty pit core. Between the Shinzao, Blitzcrank, and Rise turning up out of vision, you just die. No one is tanky enough to that comp. To that pick, right? You get hit by the hook, you're dead. How are you today? How are the games going? They're going well, Steph. Thanks for coming and checking in. I hate the Jinx items, I just do. I mean, I think it's fine. It's not... I understand the thought process. I.e., in some ways, might not save you here, because you just need to hit as many people at once as you can. Basically, you're trying to get yourself to a reset, and the attack speed is really valuable here. You probably do go IE 4th, but it's cheaper as well, and when you're behind the game, 2,400 gold, at least this way you're at 3 items in parity. Yeah, Baus isn't really known for his Cassante. His Gragas is not a bad blind considering his Baus's. Unfortunately for him, Janax has just got a decent counter into it and it's worked well, unfortunately. That's potentially decent. Can they pick it up? I think they can. He fell the flash! Nice! Oh, he didn't have the flash. I heard a flash noise and it wasn't that. I don't know what I heard then. Shockwave or something. League shops and coaching time. Yeah, I mean, like, I think League having, like, I think one of the big issues to League in general right now is the bar to access for the game very, very high. Getting into the game, entering League of Legends is a tough time. And to redo that, you need to make the client better in order to basically redo tutorials, allow better community engagement and help for people who are new. Probably do things like have community-made guides. It's like, hey, I'm a Lee Sin maid. Here's a little thing from patch 15.1. Well, I did this Lee Sin, cool Lee Sin clear that's really fun. This is how you do it. Baus is about to get blasted. Does get a blast cone out. That's not bad. They can look to try and nab that. Won't. That's a nab of the objective bounty. Room prison on Veli is not going to have a great amount of time. They can potentially look to turn this around, though. Can look for the reset. Decap's dead. That gets Jinx excited. Jinx with all the AoE. Jinx with all the AoE. That's really good. Veli gets a decent amount of healing. They will get Yopper into the sky, but he might get a feather pull here. That's pretty good. Crowny misses the rocket, but it won't matter. That is a huge fight. Huge fight. There's your hurricane value. That's what the Hurricane was meant to do. So they turn up a little late here, and they try to turn onto Baus, who doesn't die, blasts everyone away, actually gets a good blast gun, and forces Yopper into a really awkward angle. He tries to get involved, realizes he can't go that way, and so Yopper is just completely out of position. They don't have the Fed AD carry involved. Yopper autos now. And that's not even auto, that's a double Q. All the while Crowny's gone through what? 7, 8, 9 autos? Really nasty. Then also gets belly slammed after and goes down, so it's a shut down for Nemesis. Really nice. The hell with IE. There you go. Look, you're not wrong. IE is a great second item. It's just expensive. And it's not like the Hurricane doesn't have value or doesn't have synergies or isn't a valid build. That is an example of why. Now you've got the IE as well, and so you've got the best of both worlds. You are very, 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 very low on defenses this way. You need that Locket and that Redemption to do a lot of work. Because there's no GA, there's no Immortal Shield Bow, Bloodthirst, or anything like that. You will die. However, if you get the opportunity to attack a few times, you'll do quite a lot of work. Quite tanky LDR, but exactly, honestly. But then there's a world where you could have done Juntal's, i.e. Lord Doms, that order. Faust probably dies here, goes golden, but they got the Baron. Fine, Faust can die, he doesn't care. He's done his job. Man, Lost Ratones are just so good at finding ways back into games. They're very, very, very hard to actually keep down. Rocket, that'll be a dead decap. That gets Jinx excited, means you can rejoin Lurix. Has got the Crescent Guard rolling, but it's not that fantastic. Watch Gen X for a potential angle. Good. Shockwave for a second, but that's going to be the Rise coming on in. Good stun onto Vito, means he doesn't actually get that much value. Crowny's still firing. Blast Cone doesn't keep him alive. Yopper's going to potentially die. Flash from Crowny, gets some more rockets. Fell in the backside with a Vault Breaker. Should still win this. Lots and lots of damage. Another Vault Breaker in. Denting blows. And Blast Shield. And some unrelenting force. Faust bought Zhonya's. He bought the self-stun. Okay. There you go. Good turnaround. Yeah. But Jinx, Gen X is dead. There's the auto. Got a little bit cancelled by the Dark Procession. He's not going to get through the Hex Gates. He's a dead man. Nice. And that delays him dead for another minute. So they're going to get a really long shove here where Gen X is not around. Does Velia need to reset, or can he just heal off the camp and say that's fine? I wonder. He's got Hex Gates, so he can actually afford to stick around. His teammates are still resetting and Wave Sworded, so we can probably just take this camp, reset, and come back out again. I turn on the stream and Vitality hard immediately. Sorry, Vitality fans. Sorry, Jonas, that's the way it is. Hey, Noonday, good to see you. The difference between IE and LDR is very small when LDR has no Giant Slayer. Yeah, you can legitimately go IE every game as an ADC unless the enemy team has lots of armor. Very true. You do want armor pen at some point as an AD carry, nearly guaranteed. Like it's not a guarantee, right? However, yeah, there's a point where LDR was a requirement because the Giant Slayer passive gave you so much more value against targets with higher HP. That is long gone. That is Mount Bloody Everest in a gold graph. That's a 10,000 gold swing or so. Probably more like 9, but still ridiculous. This Velia guy didn't miss one 50-50 is crazy. Genuinely, Velia has hit some insane smites. It's been very, very good. It's genuinely kept them in it. Got GA now as well. Med dies for Nemesis. Life's okay. I tend to agree, but 10k gold is usually a steep hill you're never going to climb. It's true. It's true. Like that was a very, very big gold graph to get back from. Ironically, Yopper's still ahead here. He's still 1,000 gold ahead. I don't think it changes much, really. There's a lot of structure still to pick up for LR. There's still another tier 2. They can turn back towards this Hex Dragon, which would deny Soul and put themselves on Soul Point. They want to try and get a pick here. The vision control going also means the Rise and the Blitzcrank have a lot harder time. And those compositional issues we were talking about earlier are now becoming a problem. It's a lot harder to find a good pick as the Blitzcrank. It's a lot harder to play around the range disadvantage you have as Vitality.Bee now. Especially without that vision control. VTO's TP'd in. This Dragon's gone. They're not getting over here in time. It's gone. They're going to try and jump. Decap didn't find the Rocket Punch. Can maybe get something here. Gets hooked, but there's still a decent explosive cast. Lurox has got the Crescent Guard, but has to flash away. They might try Bounce, but he's actually really tanky with his passive at this point. Hits the Maiden of the Mist, so she will probably die. That's huge. Oh, Shockwave on 2 after. Really, really slick turnaround this game from Lost Ratones. That one Dragon fight where Yopper ended up on the wrong side of the pit and didn't get to auto is literally cost them the game. And a bad Baron discipline where they didn't smite properly, didn't keep value out of the pit. Those two moments have genuinely allowed Lost Ratones to come back 6,000 gold, which is unbelievable. Yopper goes into the sky where Mata cast forces the flash. Faust might die here. That's a GA Brock, but it won't actually change all that much. They're going to go for the Nexus. And game's over. Lost Ratones are 2-0 up after that mid-game. Look, we did say, hey, there's some decent counter picks here in the draft, like the Yorick into the Gragas blind. Haha, I see the thought